This is
The 12 days.
The 12 days.
12 days.
12 days of pride.
Pride is a rebellion, a pushback against everything that we were conditioned and taught that was wrong. Is pride.
So pride to me is just being proud of who you are and being unapologetic about who you are and how you express yourself. Pride is that ultimate self-love.
Pride to me is holding yourself together. Your sexuality, your humbleness, yourself, your humanity, holding yourself in one simple package and loving that package to me is what I would define as pride.
Pride to me means honoring oneself and honoring others around you.
My first pride that I attended was in Uganda. And of course, Uganda, we ended up being harassed by police. How it felt to have a first pride parade in the United States. The feeling itself, the people, the love, the colors, the beauty, the smile. I think I'm one person who stood for all those many hours and I was just enjoying every little bit that was in the parade.
First Pride experience was, I think I was like 20, and just seeing like all of these Black LGBTQ people. Like, I just didn't know that many of us existed. And so to see it and to see thousands upon thousands of us out there, it was just an experience that like I don't think I'll ever forget.
But to be able to see so many different people in New York City of all different colors, shapes, sizes, coming together to celebrate themselves and how far they've come and how far we've come was just so incredibly beautiful.
The first time I attended a Pride event, I was like so nervous. I was thinking that it was going to be a situation where people were going to be judging me. Unbeknownst to me, Pride was like this magical place to where the turn up was real, to where the hugs were real and they were genuine. My prides now are just like packed with like performing, get a chance to see the other side of Pride. And so now I'm one of those people who get a chance to represent our community and to spread my music and give hope to a new generation of dreamers that want to be a part of Pride.
This is
The 12 days.
The 12 days.
12 days.
12 days of Pride. I was just like writing down thoughts. I don't think I understood. I was like really writing songs. When I started really soul searching into writing and learning that I could actually make real music, that was when I was incarcerated for 10 years in a male's institution. It was an unfortunate location, but that's where I developed. And so this was a way to say that, hey, I'm here and I matter.
I started dancing when I was about 8 or 9 years old. My mom took me to see the national tour of the Broadway musical Phantom of the Opera. We would go and see these Broadway shows that I would beg my mom to take me to see. We would always buy the soundtrack.
Welcome to our show called Hollywood's Best Show.
I would take it home and often lock myself in my little tiny bedroom and just spend the entire day re-choreographing and designing the sets and the costumes and imagining how I would create a production if I had the opportunity.
I started my craft technically 6 years ago. 10 years of doing finance work, a transition into freelance journalism, and now I am an author.
I started doing art in high school. Doing art as a professional is not something we do way back home. I love every single piece I've made. I don't know how to explain it because every single piece I make has its own character, its own touch, its own technique.
The feeling that I get when I'm writing is healing. Anytime I'm writing or covering issues around Black people, I kind of go through this feeling of gratitude to not only the ancestors and those who came before me, but it gives me a sense of pride to know that I'm adding to the rich history of writers that we've always had and adding to the stories that haven't been told.
I started a ballet collaborative called the Black Iris Project. Through the Black Iris Project, what we do is we create ballets, both contemporary and classical, that reflect Black history and or the Black experience. And it's just a really amazing feeling to think of myself as once that little kid that just loved all of these big shows that he got to go see, and now I get to create the inspiration for other people.
You have so many people around you telling you the things that you cannot do. You're too dark, you're too feminine, you're too masculine. People need to see that underdog succeed, and they need to hear their message of someone who has a similar story to them, someone who looks like them, succeeding.
This is
The 12 days.
The 12 days.
12 days.
12 days of pride.
Have I ever been in love? Okay. I don't know. I'm not so sure.
Have I ever been in love? Oh my God.
Love. Okay. It's the hardest question I've ever been asked. Seriously.
I will say that I fell in love with myself over the past few years, and that was a journey in itself because it was taking a lot of time to really reflect upon how long I had pretended to be someone else. And the last decade has really been just my journey from 25 to almost 35 of really coming into my own.
I'm in love in so many different ways, not just love with my craft, but also a love for my partner, my family, my friends. My partner and I met in 2013. We got together a lot just to hang out and talk about our love and our passions for not just our craft, but also for our communities. Our love, in a way, is revolutionary. We're two Black queer men who unapologetically come together in our uniqueness to share even more love, not just with each other, but through our passions of our craft.
Queer love is today, queer love is now. Queer love is unconditional.
People should love each other genuinely, no matter who they are, how they believe in their bodies, or how they identify themselves. Love is love.
Queer love is possible. Queer love is unique. Queer love is what you make it. Queer love is actually divine. It's challenging the status quo.
Queer love, it's tough because we know when we love each other publicly, it's just not the same, and it doesn't come with a roadmap. Queer love oftentimes is hard and it's a struggle because I think a lot of us are still navigating who we are as queer people first. And I think it's a blueprint of how it can work and how we can build the systems for it to work so that the next generation of queer kids can have it much better than we got it from our past generation. This is
The 12 days.
The 12 days.
12 days.
12 days of pride.
If I could write a letter to my younger self, I would say that everything that you were feeling was correct and valid.
If I was to write a letter to my younger self, I would say, hold your head up, speak boldly, closed mouths don't get fed, believe in yourself even when others don't.
The biggest thing I wish I knew was language. I think language can change just your whole perspective on everything. When you don't know what the word gay means, when you don't know what the word lesbian means, when you don't know what the word transgender means, but you know that you feel these things that equal these things later on in life. I wish I just had language to be able to say what was going on. I knew something was going on, but I just didn't have the words.
So I would tell Leilah, persist, insist on what you really want. It's the same thing that I've done. Keep moving, keep the drawing, keep the sculpture.
Yeah, I think I would be very, very honest with myself. Like, look where you're at. Your story didn't have to have that tragic end that society keeps writing for you. And so I would just tell myself to keep going, and the benefit on the other side is how many lives you're gonna be able to save with your story.
So my childhood was just me being in a box and me trying to make everybody happy and me trying to be accepted. So I fell down a whole lot of times. Ultimately, it was about what I wanted and what I needed in my life.
I always had this laser focus for art and wanting to express myself and become a professional dancer and choreographer. So much so that I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed. And so to my younger self who was confused, was often sad and felt discouraged, I would tell him to just keep swimming.